And I'm back. As you guys saw, Leg Arms is digging a massive hole for his future house. It's really exciting for them. I hope we throw lots of parties because I want to come over when it's done. I might help a little bit, but seeding's going on right now too, believe it or not. And I need to get prepared to get back in the field. So let's get to that. Oh, and by the way, this video is brought to you by SimpliSafe. Talk soon. Let's go. I brought the Bud back last night. It's an old connector harness that went to the transmission that we're pretty sure is giving us a problem. There's a new one being made, but it won't be ready in time, so we'll see if we can get that working. So Leg Arms is gonna fiddle with that, but I think while he's fiddling with that, making it work, I'm gonna go get that Steiger fired up, get that hooked to the 3850 air cart, and then, because we don't have our new toolbar in time, I'm gonna hook it up to the old 57 foot and get it going, and that way at least we'll be able to seed this week until the new one comes. So let's talk about that in a second here. So this is the 2022 demo from Case IH. It's the 540 with the CVX transmission. We're really excited to run that thing. So they gave us a few hours on it. We're gonna go put it to use. It is currently hooked up to the 3850 air cart, which is what we're gonna be using it on. But our 700 Flex Hoe 70 foot that we bought is not here yet, and there's some issues with just getting it shipped. It's just we got it last minute, and with all the trucking madness going on, they're just having a hard time, but they said they'll get it to us next week. Well, we've got a couple good days this week. We probably can seed, so it'd be silly to not run the old toolbar because it's pretty much field ready, just blown tire and some greasing and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook those two up, the Steiger and the 3850 air cart, to this 57 foot 5000 series flex coil, check all the tire pressures and everything, pull it over, get it all set up for the field, and then we'll get to town and start seeing some peas with this too. So we'll have the Steiger on this and the Bud on the 70 footer over there. And then next week, when the new 70 footer comes, used, new to us, it's actually a 2011, so it's 11 years old. Then we'll quickly swap off all the intelligent egg like we did on the last one, anything else that we might need, and then get that toolbar hooked up to that cart, and the 540 will then pull a 70 foot as well, which would be awesome. And that'll be about the time we start getting into our spring wheat. So let's get things fired up. Now, if I'm by myself and I gotta somehow back this up to that toolbar to hook it up, and I am not gonna be able to see a thing. So this might take a few attempts. Don't laugh. Well, now we got this tractor ready to roll. I'm gonna go back and seed that tank out, and then I'm gonna bring it back because we gotta make some adjustments to the rollers. There's the way it meters, running one less run, I did do something quite right, and it's leaking seed into the manifold, so I gotta get that fixed. Before I hit the field though, we've got a lot of big equipment in the yard these days, between Steigers and old Buds, and you just never know when we might encounter a situation. Maybe not this year, maybe next year, but we definitely have some reservoirs we'll be farming around, or if we happen to be a little bit daring and get a little close to a little water hole, or say leave the auto steer on and forget to turn it off and drive into a water hole, I need a means to get these things out. So I got something in a box. Let's open it up real quick. This is Yankum Ropes sleeved 2.5 inch kinetic rope for pulling out monsters like that. The reason we need this rope, we already have two of their 2-inch ropes, which is great. But what's gonna happen is we get the big dog stuck, and it takes 2 other big tractors to pull the big dog out. That's what this rope's for. So this one will be direct connected to the stuck rig, and then you can tandem 2 other tractors back to back with the 2-inch ropes and give a big pull. And that way you won't be tearing anything apart. Maybe the tractor, but not the rope. So anyways, yes, massive rope. These kinetic ropes are amazing. They do a really good job. I'm really hoping we get to use it. I really hope we get to use it, because that means we've got water in the ground. That means we're dealing with moisture. And that means we're probably gonna have to, you know, have a harvest, which would be amazing. You know, I've got my beefs with tracked units. one thing that Trax will never do. That's this. Something that's new that I gotta get in the habit of doing with this toolbar is gotta take these safety pins and you gotta put them into field mode and then back in the transport mode when you're not using them. It's not that hard to do, just something you gotta remember every time. There we go, swing her out. Now that I've got some time on the bud, I can tell you straight up, I can feel the difference of all those pins and bushings that we had fixed. It steers way tighter. When I say tighter, not tighter circumference, but like there's not much slop in the steering now. Like you turn the steering wheel and it is instant. You feel the tractor turning. And then there was always kind of a little clunking sound when you had slop or forward and back movement or like go through a bump. That was that center hinge point moving a little bit. Well, now it's solid. It's nice. Running about 5.2 miles an hour, putting on about 120 pounds an acre of seed of yellow peas. We're going less this year. Usually we do 150 pounds an acre, but we're just anticipating a drought. So why put all that product in the ground to compete for moisture and also waste the money in seed when it probably is not going to make it? We don't know. We got to put something in, but we got to farm cautious this year, so that's what we're doing. Tractor's running really good. Transmission's fixed now. It was a connector, definitely found. We got a new one on order. They're making a new one for this tractor. So Big Equipment in Havre, Montana, where they built these tractors way back in the day. Still work on them, so they're making us a part for it, so that'll be really nice. The 70 feet is nice. Acres are getting knocked out a lot faster than 57 feet. Doesn't seem like a lot more, but it's a lot more. I can't imagine having a couple of these things rolling in the field. Maybe soon I'll be able to imagine it. Other than that, it's running good, so I'll just keep running. Seat's nice and comfy. Getting used to some of the controls, the buttons on it, adjusting everything the way I like it. It just takes so much time every year to get everything dialed in. It just takes so much time. But once you get there, then you're good. There, just finished the first field. Let's take a look and see what we've got for acres. 160 acres on the dot. That's what that field is. Good deal. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next one, but I think I'm putting on a lot less rate than I'm supposed to because my tanks should be almost empty and they're not, so I gotta go look in the cart and see what's going on, but we might need to recalibrate it. Well, I'm in the same field. It's late, as you can see, and I'm fixing a mistake that I made, kind of. Basically, turns out we were putting down half the rate of seed that we needed to in this field. Like only 70 pounds an acre of seed, we needed about 120 to 130 pounds an acre. So, what happened? The hydraulics on this tractor, if you set the depth while the fan's running, it'll drop the fan speed. So, what happened was, I was just getting going, I was focused on a bunch of other stuff, and I had the fan off because we were having issues earlier. So I went to forgot to turn the fan back on when I jumped back in the tractor to start going, and I pulled the seat toolbar down, and the meter spun really fast, dumped a bunch of seed, plugged the manifold in the front hopper of the tank back there. Long story short, what that means is when I got the alarm, hey, your fan's not running, I quickly turned the fan on, only in about 3 seconds, but in 3 seconds it dumped enough peas to plug the first tank. So what happened basically is I seeded the entire 160 acres with the front tank not seeding at all. You think I would have caught that, but there's seed coming out of the runs. It's just we're using all 3 tanks at the same time to seed out these peas, and they all run at the same time. So I found out the hard way. So what do we do? Well, I'm going to reseed the entire field with what's left of that tank. So basically I'm covering up old seed, hopefully not ruining it all, but I'll be a lot smarter next time. Won't make the mistake twice. Yeah. Love it. Farming. Yeah, last night was a little costly for me. I made a mistake. If I would have paid more attention to my intelligent ag blockage system and saw that there was definitely discrepancies, I would have gone out and dropped the manifold and looked to see if something was plugged, but it just didn't dawn on me that it was. Well, with that said, reseeding all those acres burnt quite a bit more diesel and put time on this. And so yeah, that's not fun. But you know what else is expensive? Not protecting your home with a security system like SimpliSafe. This here is a SimpliSafe system. SimpliSafe is an easy way to protect your property as well as yourself. There's a number of devices here. They all serve their own purpose, but they can serve multiple purposes depending on what you need. Like, let's just say the smoke detector. Fire. We don't like fires. Fires destroy stuff. They're dangerous. That'll let you know there's a fire, as well as the authorities, which will then hopefully resolve the situation. Your outdoor security camera, wireless, 1080p wide angle lens, night vision, and two-way audio. Plop that somewhere. If you don't feel like going outside because you heard a sound, you can look in your camera and be like, oh, there it is. You've got your motion detectors, your glass break sensors for someone breaking the glass, water sensor in case you've got a flood event. Number of devices here to protect you and keep you safe. This here is your base station. It's the main brains of the operation. This here is what talks to all the devices in your home. If you're gonna be gone for a while and you need to arm your system, just quick tap the button on your keypad.
Please exit now.
Really simple.
Alarm off.
When I'm not here at the shop, there's a lot of things in the shop that can be destroyed by fire, by water, by cold. And we've had a couple alerts already to this winter, to some cold events that happen. And the last thing I want to do is fix pipes. So that is something I really appreciate about it. A great part about SimpliSafe that makes it so easy is everything comes with batteries pre-installed. They're just tabs you pull off, activates the battery, which then engages the device. And then everything has nice adhesive sticky pads in the back. Just pull the strip off, stick it to the wall, stick it where you want it to be, and that's it. No drilling holes, no hammering nails, and no running wires throughout your entire house. That's really nice. Now, being that the system is wireless connected to the internet, you can pull your app out at any time and view your security footage as well as your sensors and arm the system and disarm it remotely from your phone. Isn't that pretty sweet? Now with SimpliSafe, there's no long-term contract. You can cancel anytime. It's less than $1 a day. And remember, there's always someone on the other line. They are monitoring your service. And as soon as they get triggered, they let you know. Phone call, email, text message. You get notified right away if something's not right. Now, you can save 20% on your SimpliSafe security system by signing up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. Just visit simplisafe.com/Welker Farms. It's easy. Well, we're back in the yard. Got the manifold drop down. I'll show you guys the plug that I was talking about. So, right here is the run that we have plugged off. And this is the whole one that got, the whole tank that got plugged off when I was seeding and I had to reseal it last night. And I was wrong on my numbers too. We burnt like 400 gallons, or $400 worth of diesel to reseed all that, $400 or $500, but still enough. Plus wear and tear, not fun. So, but what we are doing, and I'll show you in the shop here, is saving money but wasting time. So I stopped by the parts and picked up this today. This is a brand new roller. It was like over $2 for that bad boy. But they got this plastic piece here, and that's the spacer that we needed to fix our problem. And they sell those, but they're like 160 bucks a piece. And we have a lathe and PVC pipe. So let's make a couple. I think I can do it. Dad's working on wrapping these rollers up. You can see right here, this is what I did. Basically, we've got to make a piece that fits over this whole gap, and not this here. This was our problem we were having. We'll fix that. So let's get to lathing some plastic down, make this work. The spacer needs to be 5 inches and 5/8. So I'll cut her off in the chop saw and then I'll put it in the lathe. Then we'll true up the ends. I'm gonna make it a little longer though because I will have to take off some. So let's do 5 3/4. Now I'm gonna be making 5 of these bad boys because eventually we gotta do the other car too. I need at least 3 for now, but I've gotta make 5. And so let's get to work on the lathe. Had to change out the chuck, I think, to a 4. I had 3 in there and it just wasn't enough. So this one's a little harder because you gotta center it. Slight wobble. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna use this to take that wobble out by putting some pressure against it. There we go. Now I gotta change out my tool here to put one on to cut the face true. Perfect, right on the dot. 1 5/8. Beautiful. All right, let's cut the inside out because I've got to put a bearing inside here, which is right here. So this doesn't fit right now, so I gotta put it in it. Well, now bearing fits nice and snug on both ends, but the outer diameter of this PVC pipe is a little bit big, so I gotta lay the entire outside down just a little bit. So let's go check the diameter that I need to lay it down to, and then we'll start that process. This is basically what I'm trying to make. This is the real one, but this is for a 6-run system. I need to make it a 7-run, so as you can see, it's a little too long. I need this size, not this, but I don't really want to cut this down because it's 160 bucks. I'm gonna take it back. So, but I'm gonna check the outer diameter to know what I've got to make the new one to. 3.37 inches. Good to go. All right, well, what do you think? That only need to be shorter. This. I think it'll work. There she is. Perfection. All right, put the rollers back in, put the manifold back up, and start filling her up with seed, and then we're gonna recalibrate it again. I guess manifold will go up after that. Then hit the field.